morning, Pak Pahala.
Good morning, Pak.
Morning.
Thank
Good
you for
morning.
coming, Pak.
Yes.
Okay, Pak Pahala, we want to know the National Strategy on Corruption Prevention Strategy Institute has just released its 2023 and 2024 corruption prevention measures, which with 15 planned action. Maybe you can talk more about this and explain what are the actions.
Yes, please allow me to explain Stranas PK as we say it in Bahasa. I mean, it is a national strategy on prevention of corruption. So now our country have two prevention units. First, at KPK, mandated by law, it said that you have to do prevention. And then it dictated clearly you have to manage wealth report, to manage gratification, and things that way. That's in my unit. Okay. But then President thought at the time, 2018, need to kind of like restructure another unit called Strategi Nasional or Strana. It focused on prevention only. It started on 2012 by combating corruption. It's too wide. But then now in 2018, it's narrowed by, let's say, it's only prevention. And it is not only by Bappenas as leaders, but also now include 5 ministries, if I can say that. So the Bappenas, KSP, Home Affairs, Menpan, and KPK as well.
Oh, okay.
So the main difference with the KPK, I mean, by law, maximum we can do is to provide recommendation, advice and recommendation for improving the system. So that's a prevention. Prevention of corruption is improving the system to allow the system works without any loopholes for corruption. That's mandated by law. And we do so by providing advice. We look at some programs, like if you see Prakerja at a time, look at that and probably you have to fix it. So we wrote a letter to the president saying, please improve the system of the Prakerja at a time, for example. But on Stranas, it's more to the action.
To the actions.
We define 12 action plan. We set target, and then we call all ministries, local governments related to this target, and then they sit all together, we coordinate them. So you have to make a new regulation, you have to implement digitalization, you have to this and that. That's the main role. So it's more to implementation on the ground.
Oh,
So at KPK, we wrote some recommendation, some ignored, but then we brought into the Stranas, hey, look, you ignored this, now sit down here, let's do this. They said, the commitment is not there. Oh, yeah, okay, Pak, that's good, okay, but then nothing happened on the ground. And I said, look, every 6 months, we wrote another letter to the president saying that this ministries, the progress is 0. This ministry,
so keeping track of.
sure.
So if you don't want to get reshuffled, you better do it.
And later, in the last 2 or 3 years, we got another support from coordinating ministers.
Wow.
So it's really useful. I mean, there are some ministries or local governments under coordinating ministers. So we joined hand in hand with them. So I'm saying that's why we invited coordinating minister of marine, investment, and economic and political, because they are related to the 12 action plans. And then they with us to push all ministries to realize their commitment.
So one by one they will come to you.
Exactly. If it is not to us, then the coordinating minister, so the vice versa.
So what is if you can explain, how do you implement digitalization to prevent corruption, especially in ministries or in government institutions?
Digitalization, we on purpose choose that mechanism, the prevention of corruption, theoretically, can be done by improving the governance.
Yeah.
And out of 5 elements of governance, the most important thing is transparency.
Yes,
Transparency.
Digitalization can do that easily. So you don't have to preach people saying you have to be integrated or you have to be this and that. No. just put the system. You cannot go to that room unless you register here. That's it.
Okay.
It applied to everybody.
Yeah.
You cannot make a phone call at the seaport, for example, please release my cargo.
Yeah,
No, no, your cargo is not in the system. So how can I release that, for example? So that's on purpose we choose digitalization because it satisfies the transparency and accountability element. That's the main element of the governance, and it can prevent corruption. It's cheap, easy, and infrastructure is there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, okay, let's go to digitalization. Out of 12 action plans now for the next 2 years, there are some we expand, like commodity import, quota, commodity import, as some corruption cases there.
Yeah.
Nobody knows whether you got a quota or not, how much you get there, how much I get. Nobody knows that. Then put in a, let's say, on a platform, everybody can see we need this kind of commodity, this amount, time, then you apply there, put on. So everything on the platform, it's easy. So we expanded commodity from 5.
Okay.
In 2 years, we target about 160.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
That's nice.
governance of coal mining as well to improve the government revenue. Now we expand into the nickel and tin market as well. So that's what we can do.
Yes.
The hardest thing is we touch the political party.
No.
Before you go there, Pahala, yes, basically this is definitely a very, very important matter, especially when we want to create an effective government, an effective country as well. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, corruption really tampers or damage our economy as well and the welfare of the people as well, right? So that's why having this digitalization, as Pahala says earlier, it creates transparency where everybody can access the data.
That's true, and this will make such huge difference, I think, in order to really prevent any corruption or graft case that is happening in our country.
Yes.
Now, let's go back, Pahala, to that planned actions that we talked earlier. Maybe you can elaborate more about this and explain what are the 15 planned actions.
Yes, more commodities to be touched by digitalization to improve the governance for sure.
Yes.
Coal mining now expanded into nickel and tin mining as well. Then we touch also political parties by asking government to provide more funds. In this case, Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Finance for sure.
Yeah.
Give them more funds to allow them have at least 50% of their needs, but at the same time introduce kind of like the integrity system, scoring system, so public will know.
Yeah.
So it's like a rating system.
Exactly that.
To keep the quality up.
How transparent your financial condition. So if you say, yeah, okay, we're transparent enough, so you got the score 10, for example. Then we communicate to the public how to read the index.
Oh, okay.
They said yes, but then let's see then. I mean, let's see then whether yes in commitment it's in the real. It's very tough for them. I know that's very tough, but then I think we cannot ignore political party
Yes,
at all.
of course.
At all. So I think people can blame on them for some of the bad mistakes or whatever. But then in democracy, they're one of the pillars that must be there.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have no choice other than help them to improve the governance as well.
All right. So what else?
We also want to know, Pahala, the steps that the Stranas have taken in prevention strategy, because we know you are focused on the prevention and also measurable and impactful corruption prevention actions. Now, we have talked about the digitalization. Now, can you please explain how state money can be saved and how digitalization will improve the system?
It's basically digitalization shouldn't be understood like this way. in most government institutions, when we talk about digitalization, they think about electronification, we can say that.
Yeah.
From a paper form, they put it in a digital, and that's all. It's more than that. I mean, the business process must be cut, shortened. That's the hardest part, I guess. There are some regulation overlap, which we cannot do this part because it's a regulation we do have. So we have to fix the regulation first. That's the challenges in digitalization. But we believe digitalization helps people on the ground. As I say, phone calls of intervention, you can, innocently say that, hey, no names in my
my system.
My system. So how can I release your cargo, for example? So it helps you.
Yeah. But how do you make sure that it's safe, Pak?
Yeah, I mean, at seaport, for example, it takes, let's say, a couple days before a ship arrives. They have to come to some of the government units at the seaport. We do have 16 government institutions and no commander at all. So everybody works on their let's say, working hours. They work on different compensation scheme. They work on their own regulations. So that's an easy example. One of the units saying, I got a working hours 8 to 5. When the ship arrives at 7 o'clock, let's wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It increased the cost of, when ships come there, so they have to pay.
Yeah.
But then now we said, okay, let's make everything on one system. So the ship only single inputs, we call it. They call single inputs, and it covers all the 16 institutions needed.
Oh, okay.
So
that's great.
And then,
simplified.
Efficient.
Sure, the ship getting faster then, and movement of the cargo. We said the quarantine, immigration, custom, best practices overseas, they are in one office. So the cargo moves once and done.
Okay.
So we reduce from 11 into 2, not we. But then all of 16, we asked them to sit together. Can we reduce the time? And then, I think they're moving forward. We put a kind like rapport in Bahasa. So everybody knows which port is better than, but then how can it save the government money? I think giving a certainty of the process, we will receive a big ships only. Because the big ships, they cannot tolerate, let's say, 1-2 days delay. They cannot tolerate it. So we give them certainty, the big ship will come, and the big ship is more efficient.
Cheaper. Cheaper, and it's more attractive as well.
Exactly.
For them.
So we need that kind of like a mechanism which reduce the logistic costs. The World Bank said we spend 23% of GDP for logistic costs. Then it reduced into 18, and we target about 11 or 12.
Now it's 11 or 12.
And now it's 18.
No, it's 18.
Okay.
The rest come outside of the seaport, and then we will come to the airport as well. So I mean, by having logistic costs reduced, we believe it creates more opportunity for economy to grow.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, when you were sharing that, I can't help but think of the philosophy that Lee Kuan Yew, the former leader in Singapore, that he always emphasized this smoothness of everything, right? There's no antrian, there's never any queue, everything is always moving, maybe because he believed in feng shui and everything flowing. And also from Japan, we can learn this Kaizen philosophy, right? Where it's like you keep improving the system until everything is smooth. So why not? We learn from other countries in Asia, right? So, Pak Pahala, the corruption prevention action initiated by your institution involved 76 ministries, 34 provincial governments, and 68 district as well as city governments. And this is relatively high number of contacts, which your institution have to manage. A lot of heads there to manage here. So what challenges and ordeals did you face, or are you still facing, regarding digitalization to combat corruption? And what support from them that you actually need to, hey guys, let's just work together. This is good for everyone, I
tell you the truth. In most cases, we face kind of like what we call as a fake commitment.
Fake
from them.
commitment.
Fake commitment.
Sure, Pa, you sign.
Okay,
Whatever.
smile, yes.
Okay. Then we
Beres.
take a photograph and then nothing happened on the
Oh
ground.
no.
After 3 months, we got this, we got that.
Yeah.
After 6 months, that's the most cases. That's why we come to the coordinating ministers, we come to kind of like a high-level talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the cases, the ministers of the governor or Bupati, they do not know exactly what's going on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do have the commitment, actually. They actually do or they don't? Some of them don't.
We push media.
Ah.
Oh,
okay,
Push media to say, hey, look, ask them. What's about the progress of this and that?
Oh,
That's your
okay.
promise, actually.
Yes.
So we push media, we use the coordinating ministers, we all the way. But then fake commitment is the most, in the most cases, make the progress kind of like a slowdown or
Yeah.
even no progress at all. You
gosh.
shouldn't think that 12 move as well as seaport reformation. No. There are some stuck. Nothing happened for 4 years. Then the higher official get replaced, then it started.
Yeah.
So you won't believe that commitment is the most important thing. But then the other thing, they commit, knowing that, okay, that's good. We support that, but then we don't have any budget. But then
Budget
I
is
think
the second.
you got a budget.
hurdle.
It's misallocated.
Not in the right
They
place.
put they put the budget on a national meeting at the luxury hotels, but
Right.
they don't have things to develop or kind of like set up a platform for digitalization. You don't have it. But then we do have budget in this way. Can you move that to the other way around? Say, it's too late, pa, this and that. And then regulation overlap.
Oh,
We
yeah.
wish
Number
we can
three.
do that, but then
Right.
if it is lower regulation, like a ministerial decree, it's
Yeah.
easier. You
Yeah.
can deal with that.
Yeah.
But then if it is higher, like a government regulation, take years.
Of course.
So we choose which one's going to be easier to change than mostly about the ministerial regulation.
Okay.
Or local government regulation, it's easier.
Start small.
Yeah, and then commitment, budget, regulation, those three kind of like a nightmare for me. Yeah.
Right. But Pak Pahala, we don't want to be overly ambitious here, but but maybe you have the the aim, the target on how much money can be saved from this stranas, and also in the long run.
Yeah,
Maybe the percentage.
sure. I think it's about the money saved. It's kind of like a potential efficiency that we can get, and then for corruption, it's a bit difficult to measure. If let me give you an example this way. For the next 2 years, we will go to each ministers, look at the permit system, and then push them to digitalization.
Okay.
Any ministers, then we think that they can convert that easily, probably. But then how much money can be saved there? It's more to how public can access that service
Yes.
faster
Yeah.
and cheaper. They give certainty, they know what documents needed, how long it will process, how much processing costs, if any.
Yes.
So I cannot value that rather than, the government revenue, for example, at the coal mining, yes, we can measure that.
Yeah.
As you see, when we touch the governance of the coal mining, Ministry of Finance said, hey, I got the double my income from a royalty of coal mining. And that's good. And I'm thinking that, where's the money goes before? Now you get double.
Yeah.
But then previously, probably it's somewhere else. So
Yeah, somewhere else in the pockets of people on the ground.
It's spread
There you go.
over all stakeholders. Now, to the government, for the coal itself, it doubled now due to the price of commodity for sure, but then we reduce significantly illegal mining, which they do not pay tax, they do not pay any levy, but then we think now, by digitalization, your ship cannot go unless in the system indicated you've paid, and then it's a legal mining area.
So great.
So we close those opportunities by system, by digitalization. I told people at the seaport saying like that, we help you. We help you. When somebody calls you to release their ship, you can say your ship's not on the list.
Yeah, so sorry.
So we help you then. But at the same time, they said, please, my compensation must
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not promised, but
Uang rokok,
I cannot
please.
promise. They're accustomed with that kind of practices. So we talked to the Ministry of PAN, RB, and said, look, Pak, probably we have to make those 6 institutions at the same level of compensation. Otherwise, it's not fair for us to push them, give them a pressure, the same pressure with different compensation. Now we are working on that. So
Good luck, Pahala and team.
Changing the culture, but
no, it's a coordination only. Please do not say that it's a Stranas PK, do this. No. They do that. We coordinate only with the coordinating minister, with the president for sure. But then I think that's what we need now.
Yeah, absolutely.
When 6 institutions or whatever institution there, they need a coordinator.
Yes, they do.
And then as we set the target for preventing corruption, and then digitalization is not so hard for them. Infrastructure is there, people there, money is not so much they need. So I think that's why I said commitment is more important than everything.
Absolutely.
For me then.
Agreed.
And then please media help us as well.
Of course, but
Right now.
we release all the commitment, fake commitments, so post them.
Will do.
Thank you, Pahala, for coming
Thank you,
here.
Dan.
Thank you so much, Pa. We'll talk again hopefully soon, and success with all of the strategies. Hopefully they will all
Help
be
us.
implemented.
Help us.
We will
We will help you. This is our
together.
commitment.
Exactly, for a better Indonesia. And